But you were able to make it to the movie theater this weekend to see Jackass Forever. I was not. Do have to say, really like the Jackass movies. I wouldn't say I'm a huge fan, but whenever they're on, you always gotta watch. I gotta say, probably my favorite one, Jackass 3D. It's I think the
The most
favorite.
recent one, 10 years ago.
Yes, which is crazy. I remember this is the last I'll say about it. I'll give you the floor. We took our residents to see Jackass 3D as a program at Siena College. So shout out to
Oh,
Siena, allowing us to basically do whatever we need to do in order to get those programs in.
that is a good one for
Yeah,
sure.
education of a lifetime. Dave, tell me about Jackass Forever.
Yeah, man. Been 10 years. As you can tell, Johnny Knoxville, now gray. He let on that he'd been graying a long time and he just stopped dyeing his hair during the pandemic. Gotta say, the dude looks great. However, not everyone is still here. Ryan Dunn, of course, tragically passed away in between films due to drunk driving. And Bam Margera is not involved. He's having a lot of substance abuse problems. Paramount actually axed him from the film. However, everyone else is still here. Jeff Tremaine, Spike Jones at the helm, Knoxville, Steve-O, Chris Pontius, Dave England, Preston Lacey, Wee Man. The gang's all here. And I think crucially, there's some new blood as well, including like the first female Jackass performer, Rachel Wolfson. And what I like about Jackass Forever so much is it's just more Jackass. There's no pretension about the film. It's not hyped up as the final one, even if it very well may be the final movie, or at least the final one with this core group. Who knows? But it hasn't sacrificed the core appeal of Jackass, which is truly like the camaraderie and the brotherhood of watching all these great friends take the piss out of each other and inflict serious pain on themselves. It's like even though it's a total dude fest and like they're all like a bunch of bros, it's been that way the whole time. It's not like a toxic masculinity thing at all
No.
because they're highlighting the stupidity of being dumb dudes,
Mhm.
and they all take their turns doing it themselves with their own bodies. So I think if you like Jackass, you'll certainly like this. But I think this one, like the emotional resonance of this, is like kind of even stronger because you can tell they're older, but they also have more memory and they've just done more of this. So
Right.
it has all those qualities that I think you want from this, and it's also I think important to think about where Jackass started and where it is now because Jackass is a pre-YouTube, pre-Vine, pre-TikTok thing. You can find people doing Jackass knockoffs all the time.
Oh yeah.
This like the Nelk Boys and Logan Paul and Mr.
Mhm.
Beast. They owe everything to these dudes. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
Virality
that's
meant
true.
something very different back when Jackass was on MTV. So it's funny to see. I think something like this still hit now when we can get like stunts of any variety at our fingertips now. You know,
No, totally.
the novelty is not what it used to be, but I think this crew has so much like goodwill and history that it actually lands and makes it better. So I really liked it.
I gotta say, I think you make some really great points, and the TikTok of it all is really interesting because I know that they did a lot of advertising on TikTok in order to like draw attention to this, and this
Mm.
does feel like the perfect type of movie to put on TikTok and do most of your advertising because you can just clip these small little
Yeah,
stunts and put them out there, and they go viral. It's amazing,
yeah,
perfect
and
for them.
it's been 10 years since Jackass 3D, let alone the rest. Like a lot of Gen Z kids probably never knew what Jackass was, or they maybe saw clips and didn't actually know it was like this whole Jackass thing. So yeah, if they can find that younger audience and keep this going, maybe with the new generation, I think that would be awesome. Obviously, um, it has a lot of Jackass Forever specifically has a lot of things I think you associate with the other stuff. Right, there are celebrity guests. There's a lot of celebrity guests in Jackass Forever, but I think they all make a lot of sense. Like you'll see this one ads Machine Gun Kelly does a stunt, but I think that however you feel about MGK, like Wild Boy, his breakout rap song, yeah, bitch, call me Steve O. Like I think the closing of that circle makes a lot of sense,
Oh
and
yeah, that's
him and
great.
Steve O have done stuff before. It's not like this is the first time, but that one made sense to me. Also, Tyler the Creator has a
Oh,
big performance in one stunt here, which makes a
that's
lot
so
of
perfect.
sense because Jasper Dolphin of Odd Future and Loiter Squad fame is one of the new cast members on Jackass Forever. Definitely came out of
Wow.
nowhere. I was like, oh shit, that's Jasper. He's just doing Jackass now. Jasper's dad, Dark Shark, also part of the crew halfway through the movie. So yeah, it made a lot of sense to get
Yeah.
Tyler to do something too. Watch Tyler get electrocuted. Pretty funny.
That's fantastic. Yeah, and that feels like a pairing made in heaven. Like you talk about groups that kind of owe some of their success to them, and Odd
Mhm,
Future obviously more of a music group than anything, but when they first were around they were doing a lot of this just like stupid guys being dude shit like this. So yeah,
mhm.
perfect pairing right there. Any particular stunts or skits that stood out to you?
Yeah. Well, I think the opening of the film is really notable. Like, the opening of the first movie, they're like going down the hill in the huge shopping cart, right? Like, really an iconic one. This time around, it's like more of like a stage, like costume, like lampoon of a Godzilla attack. And everyone's like in the city and being attacked by Godzilla. And then as you watch it, you realize that Godzilla's feet look kind of weird. Turns out the Godzilla prop for the miniature that they shot on was actually just Chris Pontius's dick dressed up, and his feet were actually Chris Pontius's balls painted green. You know,
Yeah.
there's a recurring bit about a animal ejaculate in the throughout the film, and Godzilla kind of comes on everyone to kill them at the end of this opening bit. So lot of male nudity that's not going away, but
Mhm.
there's a lot of animal ejaculate in this. I don't want to spoil stunts too much. Obviously, it's best to see that for the first time, but I mean, I was sufficiently entertained. I actually didn't see Jackass 3D in the theater. This is my first one seeing in the theater, but I was laughing a lot, and it's that same formula, right? Like not every stunt, every scene hits the same way, but like they just keep it moving, and like it's just great. Like it just looks like they're having so much fun. Like you get some of the interstitial stuff where like Steve-O walks out of the porta potty and he gets shot with a volleyball in the face, shit like that. Obviously, they blow up plenty of porta potties on unsuspecting victims as well. All the things you expect. I won't spoil it specifically, but there's a very memorable agita-inducing stunt featuring Steve-O and bees on his body. I'll leave it at that. And
Oh no.
I think what's really important about these stunts too is sometimes it's like just basic toilet humor, just basic like getting kicked in the
Yeah.
balls, basically. But other times they have the audience kind of tricked into a sense of fear for the well being of the cast
Mhm.
member, right? And a big part of this is stuff with animals. Um,
Yeah.
a lot of stuff with animals in this: spiders, snakes, scorpions, uh, and I think what's got a lot of press would be uh, Johnny Knoxville once again stepping into the ring with a bull, and this time he got some serious brain damage after his contact with a bull. This time around, he goes to the hospital in the movie. Um,
Wow.
yeah, he talked about the brain damage in press. It wasn't in the movie, but he seems to be doing okay. But he had to do some like serious like neurotherapy and stuff that improve his cognitive abilities after getting absolutely fucking wrecked by a bull, as you
Jeez.
can imagine. But I think the other thing I really enjoyed was like I said, like some of the celebrities are like really like used well. Like you'll see this in some of the press, like Francis Ngannou, UFC heavyweight champion of the world, punches Aaron in the nuts. And they lie to Aaron saying they're gonna have a UFC lightweight show, but then it's fucking Ngannou walks around the corner. And, you can see like the fear. He's like, "Oh my god, no, that's a heavyweight." And Knoxville's like googling. He's like, "Francis Ngannou punches the hardest of anyone in the UFC." It's like they never like hold back on like ripping on someone who's getting totally abused because
Mhm.
eventually it'll be their turn to get
Yep.
totally shit on too. PK Subban in the NHL hits
No,
Aaron in
slap
the
shot.
nuts with a slap shot right after the scene with
No.
Ngannou. Like they fucking terrorize each other, man. Um, I'd say for the most part, the new cast is pretty game. Some people you might have seen before, like Zach Holmes and this guy named Poopies. Like they all do I think pretty well, and this has been a comment in a lot of reviews as well. Like this stands a lot for Rachel. Is these newer cast members are like so game to be part of the crew and get fucked up by these crazy stunts, right? And it almost kind of speaks to the new generation where like everyone is so exposed to seeing this stuff all the time if they want to, and the whole like just do it for content thing. Got to get the content that we know well on YouTube, but like everyone young kind of understands that premise, right? Flash that back to way back in the day where it's like Knoxville's like pleading with Bam to do a stunt because they need the footage.
Right.
It's again, it's really funny to think about like where Jackass
How
is
far
now,
they've
but
come.
it's still fucking effective, dude. It's great.
Man, I mean, I can't wait to check it out at some point. It sounds fantastic, and it's just nice to have them back too. And it seems like the people that they have back are all in like a decent place, which is good. And the people who are staying away, hopefully
Yeah,
they're
Steve-O's
getting on
sober.
track.
He's been sober a while, which is great.
Any just real quick, any classic or maybe
Hmm.
like favorite stunts from the past for you?
Yeah. Oh
That
yeah. Go ahead. What are some of yours?
I mean, the only one that really comes to me. I mean, I really love the high five one where Steve was walking down the hall and the huge hand like knocks him out. That clip's been
Classic.
going around a
Yes.
lot. But the one that like sticks with me the most is like a gross one. The big fat guy in the group. What's
Preston.
his name? Preston. Yes. He's in this like sweatsuit on a treadmill,
Oh
and they
yeah.
make them drink the sweat from his balls. Oh my god, dude, that has literally scarred my brain, and I will never get that image out of my head. Yeah, absolutely awful. I'll be on my deathbed and I'll be thinking about that shit.
Right.
Terrible. What
Yeah.
about you?
There's a lot of famous ones, like Electric Avenue, where they just make like Bam and and a thing done, and a bunch of guys just like run through this hallway in like the Paramount offices. It's like not even like anything fancy. They just run through all these like cattle prodders and
Yep.
stun guns and shit. Just get absolutely fucking wrecked. Stuff like that's hilarious. But even like really simple stuff like watching Steve-O snort a bunch of wasabi up his nose at a sushi restaurant. Like
Oh
man,
man,
like
just even thinking about that makes my like
yeah.
sinuses run. That's terrible.
There's a lot of good stuff with animals. I think in the bulls in the past, the Toro Totter one, which I think is from Jackass
Oh
2,
yeah.
where there's four guys on two connected teeter totters, and they're basically like going back and forth to avoid getting fucking hit by the bull.
Yep.
And then everyone abandons, and Knoxville's like staying on as long as humanly possible until he's about to get gored, and the rodeo guys have to like save him.
Yeah.
The commitment, man. Also, I couldn't find this on YouTube this past weekend. I think it's a Wild Boys scene of some kind, which is the Pontius Stevo spinoff with animals. But there was one where it must have been Pontius or Stevo, like walking around until they could find the electric eel to grab and get electrocuted. Like they do some gnarly shit with animals.
And they go all out, man. Like just thinking of how painful this stuff is. So you just have to like have no fear, I guess, a lot of time. I don't even know how they do it. Amazing
I know.
stuff.